In this section there are a number of short recordings that take another look at the brain, how it functions and how it impacts on our understanding of anxiety. You'll remember from earlier sections we talked about the memory system and how the memory system lays down memories from sensory input. We also talked about the wave, the first wave and the second wave, and how that gets stored. I now want to talk about two forms of memory. These are called explicit and implicit memory. Explicit memory is when we have to go and search for a memory, for information. We are looking for an answer and we are trying to bring the memory into mind. It might be a piece of information or a name of a person or something like that. Implicit memory is stored deep within our brains and is not accessible to searching and to the cognitive process. And an implicit memory might be something like your name. You don't have to go searching for it, or at least I hope you don't. It is just there. Or tying a shoelace or riding a bike. Implicit memories can be laid down when we are very, very young, often before the age of 7 and before language has been properly formed. Examples of implicit memories, things like this. If you drive, you may remember when you were learning to drive and there seemed to be so much you had to concentrate on, so much that you've been told and shown that you had to bring to mind. You're going down the road, you've got to check your rear view mirror, you've got to check your wing mirrors, you've got to check your distance from the cars, the speed, position in the road, the gears, and then if you have to turn right or at a junction, what a nightmare. You have to check, indicate position, speed, and you have to think about all of this, and it seems impossible at the start. But after a while it moves from explicit memory to implicit memory and you drive. You automatically check your mirrors, take road position, and you can drive. You can hold a conversation with somebody next to you. You can listen to the radio. You can do many tasks. You can think about where you're going and a meeting you're going to be at, and you still drive. The memory of driving has moved from explicit to implicit memory. Another example, let's say when you were very, very young, you had to go to the dentist and for some reason you didn't receive enough painkiller in the injection. You needed a filling and it wasn't enough. And you're young, you're at the dentist, the sights, the bright lights, the smell of the chair, the strange sounds and everything that's going on around you. And then the sound of the drill, and then the excruciating pain. Now, as the years go on, that might have disappeared from memory altogether, as many memories from when we're young do. But then one day you're walking down the road thinking about something else and you hear the sound of a road drill, and that suddenly makes you anxious and you don't know why. You start to sweat and you feel nervous and on edge, and that is implicit memory being triggered by sensory input. Implicit memory is sensory rich. As we mentioned earlier, the feed of the senses is the food of the brain, of the mind, and it's the food of anxiety. And that is why when we're tackling anxiety and we're using our imaginations to counter that, that also has to be sensory rich. We are trying to move it from conscious awareness into implicit memory.